Hello, I'm V-Shing from DVS. Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to talk about my experience using hardware video switch for live streaming. In my line of work, I tried a few types of hardware video switch or mixer they call it. Today I'm going to talk about the brand from Blackmagic. The model I'm going to discuss is the ATEM mini series. I'm not going to talk about ATEM, the higher one, because my video all the while is targeted for church. So we want something more cost effective, and I start with Blackmagic with these two models, ATEM Mini and ATEM Mini Pro. Alright. In my next video, I may talk about other brands that I'm very familiar with it. Okay. So let's hope you enjoy this video and you learn something about it and what it can do for you. Before I talk about the hardware video switch, I need to talk about a few things first. One of the first things I need to talk about is the target workflow list. I'm going to create a target workflow list, and based on this workflow list, I want to see whether the hardware switch fit to it or not. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about, how the products I preview achieve the target according to the workflow list. Then finally, I'm going to talk about the ideal situation required for this product. So in this way, you know that what it designed for and what's the purpose for, and it's best to work with this workflow. Because in the world, not all switches are equal. They are designed for certain things, and that's why they have certain features in it. So you need to look at it and whether it's fit to your target do it, or your target workflow that you want to do it. Okay, so this is how we should look at it first and plan accordingly. Before I go into it, there's one thing most probably a lot of people will ask. Why hardware switch, not software switch? Why I prefer hardware switch compared to the software switch? In a church, the workers are mostly volunteer, and these volunteers are not working in the same line in their actual work of life. So I prefer hardware switch because hardware switch is much easier to learn and use compared to a software switch. And hardware switches do not have a very complicated setup. So it's easy to set up, easy to teach. A person who has no experience or don't know about video or anything, that he knows what to do with it. Simple and easy. It's easy to teach also. So anybody can do it. That's why hardware switch have this advantage. It's very easy to use and it's not complicated. The other reason why I prefer hardware switch compared to a software switch is because hardware switch has more durability compared to a software switch. Because software switch is mainly depends on a computer. Computer have a lifespan of roughly 3 years. After that, you need to change a better, faster computer or improve it by adding RAM or whatever is it. But in the hardware switch, everything is there. It's not complicated, and there's no need to upgrade or anything, and it's very more rugged design and more durability design. Just want something that lasts at least 10 years This is where reliability also the next factor to come in. Hardware switches are more rugged, more durability, and also more reliable in long term. I've seen hardware switch can use more than 10 years and is still using it. So hardware switch, because of its simple design, simple to use, it also means it's more long reliability in long term, at least 10 years. You can't say that with software switch because that depends on the computer, and I'm sure you know that computers lifespan is much more shorter than that. That's why I prefer hardware switch compared to a software switch. What is my target workflow? Target workflow for church when they use hardware switch is mainly because they have 2 cameras, 1 computer input, and 1 audio input. The audio can be from an audio mixer or directly from a microphone. Ideally, I prefer from an audio mixer. Computers, because they want for their PowerPoint presentation, for their songs, lyrics, and maybe to play back some video. 2 video cameras is ideal because one for wide angle video shoot, another one for the zoom in shoot. Why 2? Not 1. 1 can be work, but unfortunately 1 also means that the camera need to follow. Or worst thing is when they zoom in, later when they zoom out, everybody's seeing the zooming process. If I have 2 cameras, 1 camera ready at a wide angle, another in a zoom, to switch between one to the other camera, the switch there can just switch, immediately you see it. You don't need to see the panning, you need to see the zooming that involved in it. 2 cameras, 1 computer, 1 audio is the source that my workflow require. Okay. That's a minimum I would recommend it. What is my target? My target is live stream, whether to Facebook or YouTube or any CDM platform that you wanted to use. Record it, project it, and have a multi-viewer. This is my target that I can do it. Live streaming and recording must be together. Alright. I did mention previously in my previous video that is sometimes after live stream the file somehow or another when it's stored in the CDN is corrupted somehow or another. Audio is not syncing or the video break certain place. If you did record it at roughly the same quality as your live streaming, you can just immediately upload and overwrite that. But if you require a higher quality video, recording video for long-term storage or archiving, then you need to make sure you add a recorder that can able to support high quality, not MPEG-4, but high professional format. But of course, in a church environment, you also want to do the projection out. So the actual church, the actual congregation can see what the pastor talking about or see the video on it. All right. And my last one I'm talking about is a multi-viewer. Because when you have this multiple source, you need to see whether the camera is ready, the computer is ready before you switch. So we have the multi-viewer is very nice for the operator. The operator can see and check whether it's ready before it switches across. Of course, the multi-viewer is ideally have a indicator for audio, which they can actually no need to hear, but they can see on the screen. They roughly know that the audio is ongoing, is still running. So this is my target workflow, but this is not the main thing. Few more target workflow that I need to add on. First, it's easy to learn. Second, have some growth potential, because just want to use it as long as possible. So buying a switch that can able to grow is very useful. It's very, in other words, you also spread your cost instead of changing a new one to read. Then the third one I wanted to talk about in my target workflow is a cost factor. At the end of the day, in my target workflow, I have 5 targets to achieve. The source, how many sources I need to do it. Target, what type of I want to go out to. Okay. Then how easy to use it, or to learn, or to teach the next person. And whether there is some growth potential, because you just want to keep the switcher as long as possible. You buy a switch that is just perfect for certain thing, but when the time you want to do another thing, you cannot do it, because you already limited your growth potential. You already buy what is that thing for, and you cannot do more than that. That's why another important thing is the growth potential. And lastly is the cost. So these 5 things is my target workflow. So my review will talk about it, and I will conclude how interesting or how it fit to the workflow.